Hi, I'm Wilfy Horig, and I'm here by myself actually doing a solo recording with the World Takeover deck, which is a Blue Sun kill deck, which was given to us by one of our patrons very nicely. This hand, the only ice is Taurus, so I'm going to mulligan. Let's just get into the action quickly since I've kept my opponent waiting a little bit already. So as I'll talk about in the deck tech, or as I've already talked about in the deck tech, this is a sort of more kill focused than my last Blue Sun video that you might have watched. And emblematic of this change, it has posted bounty instead of hostile takeover. So while it can score out of remotes, the scoring is more to enable the Scorch Earth kill rather than to get to 7 points. And so my opponent, perhaps cognizant of this, has installed a Plascrete extremely early. So I'm going to try and find an ice to Oversight and maybe dump some of these agendas. I'm not sure I really want all of them in my opening hand. Or in my hand just yet. And if I can rescue 3 agendas with Jackson, that's basically perfect. So there is... we're playing against Lila, so there is a chance that this Taurus will be able to snipe the Plascrete, just because criminals don't have very many, or no faction, but especially criminals, have good sentry breakers for 5/5s. So if we can get a little bit of an economic lead, that might be an option in the future. So we have a couple things we can do. I think I want to get to restructure as fast as possible, so I'm just going to gain twice, and could install this assassin somewhere, but I think I'll just gain an extra credit and ditch this off the grid, which is in the deck because of the combo with Chrysium Grid to create a hard to penetrate remote server, but this early in the game it's not at its best. Forge activation orders, that's a little annoying. Just because the surprise factor of the Taurus is gone, but Blue Sun does mitigate that a little bit. Res Spiderweb, so it's not too much of a problem. Opponent splashing Turntable, that's a strange choice, I think. Oh, maybe they're doing some gang sign thing? Wait, does that make sense? I'm not sure. I guess they figure with all the... No. I'm still at a loss as to what Turntable could be used for, especially. Let's return the Taurus, just because it's worth the most credits. And I think let's install an R&D, install an Archives, and Oversight the Assassin. So this does a couple things. It means that my opponent might run R&D just because they think that this is Taurus, and Taurus requires 8 credits to safely fire to good effect. And it also lets us build up to restructuring next turn, which lets us turn the cards that we have in our hand into resources, into credits rather. So we don't have to necessarily discard cards going a bit later into the game. So our opponent has 2 Plascretes, so that kind of spells doom for our kill package. Even if we do manage to Taurus them, it will be difficult regardless. So I think let's start by drawing. And then I want to save this next Oversight for a Curtain Wall specifically, or a Yanis, so we're not going to use it on the Assassin. Yep, so our opponent's just building up credits and cards. I am going to go ahead and return this Spiderweb. Wormhole is a good target. Yeah, I think since this is the last turn that we're going to be forced, or like next turn's going to be a lot. If we don't Oversight now, we're not going to necessarily return something next turn, and then if our opponent runs, we're going to be returning things the turns after that. Like, I expect my opponent not to run this turn, so if I don't, we might not have a good opportunity to Oversight again until much later, because I assume they're going to start running quite soon. So let's return this Wormhole. 32 credits. 32 credits is quite a lot, so I suspect we can start setting up a remote server. It is interesting to note that Wormhole can allow this Taurus to fire, but only if my opponent runs into the Taurus first. And since they know about the Wormhole, like, I guess the important thing is that Wormhole needs to go on the inside rather than the outside in order to be able to protect an agenda to maximum effect. Another oversight. That is good, but like I said with my last one, this one I really do want to save for something. So let's put this in Euro mode just because it's the one that needs to be on the inside, so there's not that much positioning loss if we play it out now. Gang sign, yep. This deck doesn't really score too much. It usually tries to score 3 agendas. So gang sign isn't as strong as it could be. Yep, GFI is basically perfect. So we can't start scoring this GFI now. But what we can do is place, let's place this on the remote, server 2. Then this in server 2 and advance once. I'm not too worried about this odd advancement pattern, just because we have so many credits that we're not worried about losing credits no matter what our opponent does, and I'd rather have an extra turn of flexibility in case we draw an agenda and we can instantly put it in the server. Okay, inside job my hand, that's cool, no worries. And also against Lila, having odd advancements isn't necessarily too bad, just because you get to replay, you minimize the drawback because of that. You minimize the identity ability rather, not the drawback. Not the drawback to us. I think that makes sense. Cool, so my opponent's running, so we have to res this spiderweb. Yeah, emergency shutdown the spiderweb. Cool, so we can do this now, but it's the same problem with Leela, so I'll just triple advance and try and get this GFI, because next turn we can advance once, then depending on what gets bounced we can oversight curtain wall if we feel that the server that becomes open, so the server that becomes open we can protect it with a curtain wall rather than having to put the curtain wall, say, on archives. Yep, my opponent's inside jobbing again. I'm not certain about this just because we have a remote which is reasonably secure, so it seems like any agendas we can pretty easily put in the remote rather than have to keep them in our hand. So they're gang signing first, accessing C-source. Good to know. And then returning the data pike. Oh, something happened. Yep. Cool. So we can put this on R&D and oversight it, and that maximizes the ability of the curtain wall to protect something, because we don't really want to spend a credit to put it outside something when we're just going to bounce it back next turn. Or ideally, we wouldn't have to. And that's what we've been able to do this turn. So yeah, as I was saying, it is a bit awkward that turntable works so well against GFI. Well, not more than any other 5 for 3, but the fact that GFI is the most playable 5 for 3 at the moment means that turntable works well against GFI. I'm still not sure what to call this yet. I like GFI, but it's a little maybe unclear what I'm referring to if you don't know. I don't know if none of the 3 words really, in my opinion, are good to uniquely describe it though. I know it's a hard life. So let's install this in R&D so there's something there. Put this in server 2, and I don't really need to have hedge fund since we have 30 credits already, so let's do the same, a single advance trick. Well, it's not really a trick, but cool. HQ interface, yep. Oh, Yanis, we have used up all our oversights, but we do have so many credits that might actually turn out to be relevant just to have. So I'm gonna, I basically am giving up on these, but I feel like it's better to play the hedge fund than to advance an extra time, just because, like, while I really don't think that we are going to be able to seesaw Scorched Earth, if my opponent does run into the Taurus, like, discarding the Seesaw or the Scorched Earth means the Taurus is a lot less, like, keeping them in hand allows us, the Taurus, to still be threatening. And I know that they can kill Turntable or HQ Interface, but I don't know, just the downside of playing Hedge Fund there doesn't seem very low. Especially since, Sneak Door, because Siphon, like, my opponent still can't Siphon without any breakers, realistically. So we'll just double advance, score, see what my opponent wants to do. Yep, so first they're gang signing Curtain Wall Assassin, and then they're gang signing Curtain Wall Scorched Earth. Cool. And then I assume they'll bounce something. And then, actually I might just put this Yanis here. Yeah, let's discard the Seesaws now. Like, at this point I'd rather Taurus since we're on 6 points, I'd rather Taurus the Turntable anyway. And if they float tags, we still have Scorched Earth. This is actually the first time I've gotten to Yanis somebody, so make of that what you will. Spends 15. Yep, well, if you're going to spend 15 on something, you might as well have it be good, right? Cool, so they're clicking through 2 to fire. Just triple checking in case, since brain damage is reasonably hard to reverse. Do 1 brain damage. Do 1 brain damage. Cool. 2 keyholes. Oh, is that 2 keyholes or? No, a keyhole and a drive-by. Drive-by is interesting. Oh, so they're going to turn the Project Atlas is not too bad. Posted Bounty is the one thing I really don't want them to hit, but Project Atlas means they need a, or they're not turntabling. Apparently they're not turntabling. I don't understand why not. Not turntabling. Oh. Okay, yep, cool. They were just pressed end turn prematurely. So, yeah, they returned the Iceman HQ. Let's... Oh, wait, did I want to return this Yanis? I think maybe I just forgot. Oh well. Let's put this Taurus back on HQ. Let's put this not on Archives. I don't really feel the need to install Housekeeping. So let's just draw. I know Government Takeover, that's not good. Alright, let's put something on Archives just so my opponent can't Sneak Door. But Government Takeover is kind of the worst card to draw, unfortunately, since it's impossible to score and also means my opponent wins if they steal it. Yeah, I was feeling quite good about this game until this. I might actually have to Taurus the HQ interface, just so my opponent has a lower chance of stealing it, which is kind of depressing. But we'll see. If they just let fire, I can still kill the 2 Plascretes. No, like, Turntable is... Killing the HQ interface decreases the chance of me losing on the spot. And I am kind of risk averse. Like, it doesn't seem that likely that Turntable is going to... No, alright, they stole it anyway. Alright, good game. It seems to be a common... Oh, wait. What's happening? Oh, what am I waiting for? I can use... oh, of course. Yeah, alright. Good game. Thanks for watching. I will be back for round 2 shortly.